It is week 9 of the NFL season, Hilltimers, and it's time for Power Rankings. We don't know who's really good and who's just okay, but we know who's really bad, so we will be keeping them off the list. And you may be wondering, TJ, why in the heck are you wearing this referee shirt? Well, it's because I support the referees. After Sunday's game, I just know that there's been a misunderstanding. The Eagles did do that tush push, and I support the decision of the referees to not call a fumble on that. Also, I support the decision of the non-offensive PI call. But without further ado, let's get into the power rankings, starting with number 10. Now, I had a hard time with number 10. There's so many teams on the bye week. There's so many teams that lost. So, all in all, I decided to put the teams that are on a bye week who are really good, the Rams, the Seahawks, various other teams that I'm forgetting, they're all at number 10 because, I'm not putting the Dolphins, I'm not putting the Bears because they lost, I'm not putting the Titans, even though that would make my brother happy. But moving on to number 9, the Los Angeles Chargers. They injured Carson Wentz after Carson Wentz shouldn't have been out there all game. Oh, that was really bad. Herbert had 3 touchdowns, 271 yards, 270, damn, I can't read my writing, but that's okay. Vidal has been really good. Omarion Hampton went down, Najee Harris went down, so Vidal had over 117 yards and a touchdown. Really good stuff, but Gadsden has been a standout since his breakout game from last week. Joe Alt being back is very big. Yes, I have my handy-dandy notes, and yes, I'm looking at them because I can't remember this crap all the way through. 37-10 was the final score. It was a snoozer of a Thursday night football game, even though we've had some really good ones this year. This week, the Tennessee Titans take on the Chargers, and we all know how that game's going to go. And the Chargers will probably move up unless they have a bye. At number 8, the Buffalo Bills. James Cook had 216 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that defense looked really good for the first time in, a while. Or all season, I can't remember. Josh Allen didn't have to do much, 163 yards and a touchdown to Khalil Shakir. Overall, I think this team's really good. If their defense could continue to play well, if they feed the rock to Cook, if Allen gets a receiver before the trade deadline, then I think this team will be a lot better. Oh, Joey Bosa, who else? Holt, Oliver, Russo, and many others had sacks against the Carolina Panthers. They're going to be really good if they can continue on this trajectory. At number 7, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who didn't play very well, in my opinion, against the Saints. Yeah, they had that tip ball for an interception from Nelson that went in for a touchdown from the 3-yard line. Baker Mayfield got blown up like he was the Ultimate Warrior in a wrestling match by Chase Young and the defensive line of the New Orleans Saints. But overall, they took care of business, 23-3. They're hurt. This bye week is going to do them really good to get some players back. Hopefully, Ekbuka gets healthy. Baker has an offensive line when they come out. I don't know how good they are without, these pieces. If they come out swinging, then look for them to move up in the power rankings and run away with the division, because the rest of the division is wishy-washy, especially the Falcons, who don't know what the hell they are. At number 6, and we all knew it was inevitable, the Kansas City Chiefs, who in my opinion haven't looked that great. I mean, they played a half of football against the Washington Commanders. Patrick Mahomes had 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 99 yards from Kelsey and a touchdown. Rashee Rice had a touchdown. I mean, this was towards the end of the game. The Washington Commies were playing pretty well for a while, and then Mariota did Mariota things. There was an interception. There was a fumble backwards that cost people their parlay. I'm wearing the ref shirt so you can see the defensive lineman for the Commanders sacked Mahomes and then threw him to the ground, getting an unnecessary roughness penalty. Honestly, I just don't want to see them in the Super Bowl or deep in the playoffs. They ran their course. I'm tired of their shtick. I'm not tired of the Eagles because I'm an Eagles fan, so that's that. At number 5, we got the New England Patriots. The reason why? Drake May took 6 sacks. I don't think that's a recipe for winning football. Having said that, he had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. They had harassed Dylan Gabriel out there, who had 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Hawkins and Robert Spillane both had interceptions against Dylan Gabriel, but Dylan Gabriel obviously has a noodle arm out there. We had Hunter Diggs Booty getting touchdowns, and Drake May threw 3 of them, 1 interception. I think this team is an okay team. I don't think they're going to... I think the Bills are going to take them over eventually. They're young. They're hungry, though. We'll see what happens for the rest of the season. At number 4, I'm going to put the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, it's a big jump, but they had a big game against the New York Football Giants. After losing 2 straight, the Eagles come in and take care of business. Hurts had 4 touchdowns. Barkley had 2 touchdowns. Goddard had 2 touchdowns. And this team looked like they were humming on defense. Jalix Hunt looks really good on that defensive front, which I was hoping for. Someone needs to step up. Nakobe Dean, I've seen his name pop up on there. Zach Bond, even though he is a quiet defender, puts up really good numbers, and it looks like I have a unibrow, so I'll fix my hair. But honestly, I think the Eagles are coming back. They got a bye week. Maybe they make some trades. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just stick with what they got this year. I think they're really good. Consistency is a question. Let's see what they look like when they come back against the Green Bay Packers in about 2 weeks. Monday night, I'll be streaming the game. If you guys like if you guys like my content, check out the video on the Dumpster Fire Awards. The worst plays from this week. I'll put a link up here in the description. And, don't mind the cobwebs. It's Halloween around here, so why not? And at number 3, and I know I've put the Chiefs there as a joke, hoping they would lose, because every team that I put at number 3 has lost their game. And right now, the Green Bay Packers are the 3rd best team in the league, except, when the Lions come back and all that. We'll see what happens next week. Let's start with Jordan Love. 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. The first quarterback since Bart Starr, we're talking like 60s, early 70s maybe, that has won a game in Pittsburgh against the Steelers, and that's a mighty long time. We're talking like 50 years. Tucker Kraft had himself a career day, 7 catches, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The defense looks solid. Micah Parsons is paying off. He had a sack, but he was pressuring poor Aaron Rodgers all night. It looked like that defensive line was just getting through. It was like a swinging gate on the offensive line of the Steelers. I would like them to play more than half the football game to really solidify their place. But if they can do that, I think this team is a Super Bowl contender as we're looking at it right now. They're really good on defense. They're really good on offense when they have Jordan Love throwing it like he's doing it. The problem is consistency and playing down to their opponents. And at number 2, we got the Denver Broncos, who put a whacking on those Dallas Cowboys for like the millionth time since 1994. 44-24. Bo Nix looked very good after that first interception. He had how many? Nix had 4 touchdowns. RJ Harvey had 3 touchdowns. Pat Bryant got a touchdown. Thank you for helping me win my fantasy game against my younger brother, because that's always good. You don't mess with the champ, boy. But they forced Dak Prescott into 2 interceptions, including the big man pick from Dondre Tillman. I hope I got his name right. Yes, I was reading it off my notes. The Broncos play the Texans this week, the number 1 defense by points. We shall see just how good Denver is. If they could put together a solid performance against the Texans defense, I will say they are a legit contender for the AFC crown. But it remains to be seen. They've lost a couple of bad games. Bo Nix overthrows the ball a lot. But I really hope that he has enough time this week like he did against Dallas. 0 sacks against, barely pressured. This team looks solid. Jahdae Barron had an interception, but Patrick Surtain, or however you say it, I know it was Surtain when I watched the Miami Dolphins, when I watched the father of Patrick Surtain II. Whatever. But moving on. I really think Denver's going to be good. But moving on to the number 1 team, and then Okay, stupid. Colts. You know, Jonathan Taylor is my MVP for the year. He has had 3 TDs in the last couple of games. Indiana Jones had 3 touchdowns and 250 plus yards. The receivers are all good. Pierce, Warren, Pittman Jr., so on and so forth. I think this is a really good receiving core. They're the number 1 team in points forced, number 6 team in points allowed. They've sacked Cam Ward 4 times, but who hasn't sacked Cam Ward 4+ times? Intercepted the ball. Well, it's the Tennessee Titans. They won the game. That's all that matters. They got the Steelers on Sunday. I think Jonathan Taylor leads the league in scoring, and he's the only non-kicker in the top 15 of the NFL. But what do you guys think of my list? Do you guys think I'm full of crap? Do you think I got it right? Obviously, I'm an NFL expert. I'm wearing the referee shirt, so I know the rules. But let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know if I'm going to do a stream this weekend. We'll see what happens. But adios. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.